Well, hey there. You've stumbled upon the intersection of internet quandaries and psychological insight. Welcome to Veritas Views on AITA, where the quirks of the internet meet the expertise of Veritas Psychology Partners.
Gayle.
Dan, have you seen? It's gorgeous.
What?
Have you
What?
seen it?
What?
It's gorgeous. Our new webpage.
Our new
It's
webpage?
up.
I've
It's
seen
up.
it. I've seen
It's
it.
live.
I've seen
I
it.
know, but like, have you seen
I've seen
it?
it.
Do you just spend time looking at the
Yes.
beautiful?
Yeah, it's great.
Shout out to our IT guy, all
Yeah.
of the work that went into putting that up. I am so excited. We've
Yeah.
we've now completely revamped the website. So if you've gone to our website and you now go again and you go, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. This looks so different. Yeah.
It
There's
was
an update.
fun. It was fun watching IT and marketing bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other.
They were great.
Also fun that we refer to our spouses as IT and marketing.
Well,
So
they are.
yeah, and both well appreciated.
Indeed.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed working with marketing because she would tell me like, okay, make it smaller. Okay, try this. What about this color? And honestly, like real time, it was so efficient. It was
collaboration. So everyone, if you're listening, take a look at the webpage. We'll post a link or something like that.
Yeah, we usually do. And if you're wondering what in the heck is going on here, you have stumbled into Veritas Views AITA edition. Michael, would you like to tell our listeners what they're in for today?
Sure. Well, welcome everyone. And like Gayle started to say, for any of the newbies out there, this is essentially a podcast where I've gone out and I found a scenario online where somebody has told a story and essentially said, who's the asshole here? And that's what we're going to hopefully determine. Where there's any kind of identifiable information, I've tried to make it a little more discreet. And if you're new, stick around through the end. We always have some kind of bonus conversation after the credits. But for now, neither Dan or Gayle have read this or seen the topic I'm going to throw at them. So let's go. Today's prompt. Now, this is, I don't know, a lot of times these ones that attract my interest, it's not always just the exact topic that comes up. It's the bigger kind of picture and idea that I apply to things, which you guys always do a great job of unpacking. So anyway,
we're here. We're here, man.
All right. The headline is, am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that we can't see his friend on our vacation?
No.
Again, sort of a speechless moment between two psychologists. This is fascinating.
I don't think so.
I want to hear more.
Well, yeah, but if we hear more, I might change my opinion.
Oh, so we should just close it up right here.
Just close out now and be done. In the series. Short episode. Michael, would you tell us more so that I could stop judging a book by its cover?
Sure. Well, first, the poster is female, if that matters, and so her boyfriend. They're both 30, basically. Like one's a little younger, one's a little older, but 30 is the range we're talking about. And she says, my boyfriend and I have been talking about going to Universal for a while, especially with the new theme park opening. Since my birthday is coming up, he suggested we plan a trip in September when it's cheaper, and that could be my gift. I thought it was a great idea and even offered to help pay since he's never been and I know it's not a cheap trip. I don't usually ask for much. I got so excited immediately and started budgeting and figuring out the logistics. I suggested staying on site so we wouldn't have to rent a car since the hotel shuttles go straight to the park. But a day later, he brought up wanting to see his friend of his, who I've only heard mentioned once. They haven't seen each other in years and barely talk, and suddenly he wants to rent a car to go meet him somewhere in Orlando. I told him no, I don't mind him seeing the guy, but I don't want to be driving around an unfamiliar city for someone I've never met and barely seems to be in his life. The friend could easily meet us at the hotel or park, especially since he lives there and does have his own car and has discounted tickets to the park. My boyfriend compared it to a trip we took to visit my friend in Virginia, but that trip was specifically to support her after my mom passed, not for my birthday like this one. I don't get why he's making a big deal about when I said he can see his friend, just not in the way that derails what's supposed to be my birthday trip. Am I the asshole?
Okay. I'm going to immediately jump in really quick here and say she's asked the wrong question. She didn't say you can't see your friend. She says, she should have asked, am I the asshole for saying, I don't want to drive all over an unfamiliar town? Like, I feel like in this discussion, we're sort of leaving out the possibility that this friend could have showed up at the hotel and she'd have been cool with it. That's kind of what she's writing in this post.
Yeah.
So she's sort of shutting down some options here that I think are not not
Well,
generous enough.
I got the impression that the boyfriend shot down the option, or the option of having the friend visit them wasn't available for some reason, which confused me. Because it does seem like there's an easy solution here that doesn't require them to drive all over creation. Like, we're always looking for solutions where the boyfriend gets to see his buddy, and she gets to still not have her vacation disrupted. I've driven through Orlando. I mean, it was 20 years ago, but 25 years ago. But I have to say, I don't think it's gotten any better in the last 25 years. So shout out to anyone
No,
in
I
Orlando. Please let us know
can
what's going on.
I can tell you
It
it's
doesn't
not any
suck,
better. It's a
but it does. I
sucky
think it
amount of
does.
traffic, but like,
She's not wrong.
I mean, and Michael, I'm sure you'll jump in and let us know, remind us of the fact pattern here. But I mean, as asked, am I the asshole for saying, no, I don't want to visit your friend on my birthday trip? I mean, not really. It's your birthday trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can accommodate both, I've certainly been on trips where I wanted to visit with a friend while on a trip with family, and I think about a trip I took to Las Vegas where I've got an old, very old friend. And we worked something out, but it was one of those conversations. And it doesn't sound like this couple's having a conversation. Like, what's keeping them from having a conversation about this is part of what I'm
Yes.
curious.
Part of what, and I agree. I mean, this is, if we have this couple in the office, this is what we're going to start to explore.
Mhm.
I am a little troubled by her judgment of, hey, we shouldn't spend time on our vacation when we're in the area to visit this friend that you haven't had a lot of contact with. Like,
Yeah.
maybe that is exactly the reason to have this visit, is we don't get to spend a lot of time. And I am thinking of you when I'm in the area. And I think, it's hard when we couch these as like birthday trips, because then all of a sudden everything about that trip becomes about the celebration, as opposed to creating maybe some flexibility. And maybe that's perfectly fine, but then we hold sacred the purpose of the trip, which is her birthday. And if it's her birthday, then she gets to say. But if it's a, hey, we're taking a trip and the experience at Universal Studios is what I'm giving you for your birthday, the trip isn't your birthday, the experience is, that's a little different. I think you have to be really intentional about the meaning that you set here.
Nice. That's a really good point. We do sometimes get hung up on the idea of what this is for. And the reality is, the fact that it's her birthday is an excuse to take this trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity to take the trip. They're taking the trip because they want to enjoy the trip together. And I agree with you on not getting hung up on this. And I also agree that on a trip, like on any vacation, we take lots of family trips. You have to kind of navigate how do we want to spend our time on this trip? Do we want to do this? It's going to be this much driving. I don't want to do that much driving. We'll do this much driving. But we want to do this kind of a thing. Oh, I really want to see this, but we can't really see that. And anywhere you go, whether it's a friend or a hike or a specific museum or other feature of the place, is always going to be something that you're going to have some disagreement about.
Yeah.
And these are opportunities to have a conversation around what is our best option and how do we best use our time together and navigate it. They're struggling to navigate an issue of finite resources, time.
Yes. Yes. I often talk with couples about having a template for this kind of discussion or conversation. Where do we build in this give a little, take a little, negotiate, create that win-win? And here, this couple either is new enough together that they don't have that template, although I don't feel like that's exactly true, because she has some history to be able to judge this friend's, lack of presence in her significant other's life. Or they need to be pulling out that template that they do have and utilizing it here. Hey, we do have a disagreement, but this isn't about right or wrong, as it often isn't. It is about a matter of difference of opinion. And how do we create a situation where we can both be satisfied? If you don't want to visit with the friend, maybe you don't, but maybe, you understand that your significant other is going to get picked up by him one evening and you're going to spend an evening at the spa instead. And you'll create a lovely experience for yourself, and he can go off and see his buddy. But I'm a little troubled, depending on how far away you're coming, to shut down this relationship and opportunity for these two old friends to get together.
What we're doing so often is And you use this phrase, and I want to really underscore it because I like using it with couples. We're not looking to compromise. We're looking to find a win-win solution where both people get their needs met. And what I want to do with this couple is step back a little bit and fall back into some of the mediation stuff I've done in the past, which is, what do you want? Not like, do you not want to see the friend? You want to see, what do you want? Like, what do you need? I need some time to do this, this, and this. I need some time to, like, how do we navigate moving away from we're going to see the friend, we're not going to go see the friend.
Right. But what if she says, I need my boyfriend's undivided attention. It's my birthday trip. I need this trip to be about me.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation, because
Right?
that's an unfair and unreasonable expectation for a partner to be present for you 100% of the time, at all times, and make everything about you. It's not what she said, thankfully, because she has offered the possibility of the friend coming to visit them or coming to visit the boyfriend.
And clarify, Michael, did she offer that, or are we just inserting that? Are we making up a fact pattern here?
No, she did. She was like, I'm
Okay.
fine if he wants to come to the park.
Okay.
I just
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
thought
get
that
a car and then go there
Yeah, so
and then
she's
drive
not
around. So
she's not
Okay.
making that
So
very
she's not saying it.
unreasonable demand that he give her 100% undivided attention. She is saying, I don't want to drive all over creation in a place where I'm not familiar with. And I have to say, like, I've had people come in from out of town. You come in from out of town, like, where do you want me to meet you? Like, you
Right.
know, buddy of mine, I think about a buddy of mine coming in from out of town. Like, you're staying downtown, that's fine. You tell me where you want to meet. Oh, you want me to pick the restaurant? Fine. Here's this is within walking distance of your hotel. Go down there. I'll see you for, like, you work around the guy coming in from out of town. And
Yeah.
I would never, I can't imagine a scenario in which I would tell a friend who's coming in from out of town, okay, so I want to get together with you, but you need to rent a car and drive out to Chaska. I understand you're in Minneapolis, and there,
Right.
like there's some construction going on 494. So you're gonna want to take, you're gonna not want to take 494 because the track
Right. Right. And watch the
and then
212.
212. So you take 212, you're gonna come down Pioneer instead. Like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm gonna be like,
No.
all right, dude, that's great. That you're, a block away from your hotel is this really great restaurant I love. I'll meet you there. Does this time work? You want me to pick you up at the hotel and then bring you?
Yes.
That's that. So I'm a little bit, like, I'm sort of baffled by how this happened in the first place.
I think in part because she's asking the wrong question. I think
Yeah.
as very often happens, she is caught in this belief that she is being called an asshole for saying that she can't, or that her boyfriend can't visit the friend. But that's not it. Am
Yeah.
I an asshole for offering an alternative to what my boyfriend initially asked? My boyfriend wanted to go visit his buddy. I don't mind visiting. I would rather he come to us. Okay. Unless there's a compelling reason, like he just built a new house and he wants to show us the new house. The boyfriend, as you pointed out, is movable, or not, the friend rather, is movable.
But even then, I'm going to drive downtown and go pick up my friend.
Yeah.
I want to show you my new house. Sure. Are you free long enough for me to come pick you up? I'll come pick you up and bring you back to my house. Like, I'm like, that the question was asked the way it was speaks to an issue between this couple.
Yeah.
And a misunderstanding of the problem. And you really underscored it perfectly at the beginning, Gayle. Oh, Michael's raising his hand for those of you on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Well, they can't see it on the YouTubes either.
I don't show up on the YouTubes either, so.
You don't? All right. Well, for those of you,
so this
Michael,
is actually
everyone. He just raised his hand. Michael, please pipe up here.
So this is actually one of the rare ones where we get some updates, which I enjoy.
Ooh.
So one of the things that caught my eye about this one was just that whole idea of like a birthday vacation and who gets to determine what that is and whatever, right? That's like why I started reading it. But then I was equally interested in how quickly the internet pounced on her and like started yelling at her. Because that was not the response I expected. So then she came back. She came back and she provided some updates. So this is one of her updates. She says, the friend has a car. My boyfriend is used to wanting to impress people. He wants to rent a car and go to some fancy restaurant and show off. He wants me there so he can introduce me and show me off like he likes to. I told him the guy can meet us, especially if the guy has a car. I'm just not comfortable going off property and spending additional money in this way. This, and yeah, that's mostly what bothered me, was about leaving the property and extra money. And the boyfriend has this like a desire to show off, I guess.
There are other issues here now. She's clearly bringing up an annoyance Like
Hmm.
my boyfriend likes to show off, and that bothers me. Like
Yeah.
this whole thing is like she's annoyed with this dude, and maybe not unreasonably so. I mean, we have to follow the
Hmm.
fact pattern. It might be she might be full of it, but like doesn't sound like
Well,
this.
right, because well, maybe not. I mean, if you ask
Yeah.
the boyfriend, I'm sure he would deny this. So this is a little bit of a maybe even it has a flavor of a contemptuousness about how he shows
Yeah.
up with his friends. I'm not
Yeah.
thrilled with that, but definitely it's an issue that if this couple were in our office, we would be addressing. I might even challenge her as an individual and talk with her a little bit about that contemptuous feel and an assumption of his intention and encourage that conversation to create some better understanding about what he believes his how about his intention and how he's showing up, right? Like if you can get some maybe discussion going there, you can kind of find some movement forward. Yes, Dan, you've got
So
a
the question here is not, am I the asshole for not wanting to drive all over creation, which is the question you wanted her to ask instead.
yes.
Am I the asshole for wanting to interrupt my boyfriend's show offiness? Because I'm annoyed at my boyfriend for being a show off, and I don't want him to do this. I think I think the car is part of it.
I
I think
I think
the car
I
is
would, but I would expand that.
what she's telling herself. I think she's telling herself
Sure.
a story about the car, but really, this is about her boyfriend annoying her by being a show off.
I think it's more than that, Dan. I
Think
think
so?
it
All right.
is, I do,
Fair.
because she's also entering money into the equation. My boyfriend wants to show off as her frame of this.
Yeah.
And we don't have the resources to back it up. He isn't just showing off, he is blustering or positioning himself into a greater perception or social position that is kind of bothering her and or I think making her worried that they can't finance or fund or would extend them too far. Because they
Mhm.
in the initial post they're talking about kind of making this trip a birthday trip and kind of doing a twofer here, a trip and a birthday celebration. So I think this is a real concern, and so it wouldn't just be, hey, your boyfriend's an asshole for trying to be a show off and he's kind of a braggart. It is that it doesn't align with their position, and she sounds deeply concerned about this.
There's a problem here.
Of course,
There's
yeah.
definitely a problem with this relationship. And, it's like so often people come in with, this is our problem, but really the problem is the something else. And clearly there's a couple of issues she has with him about money and the way he chooses to spend money and what he likes to do and how he prioritizes things. And they're not having those conversations, it sounds like, because they're
Yeah.
having conversations again about, and what's weird is she's stated this framing, and I wonder if that's his framing, like, you won't let me see my friend, that she's
Mm.
accepting, or is that her framing in a weird way? I don't know.
Well, I sort of imagine that, she said, "No, look, I don't want to rent a car. I don't want to go out to his place and have a dinner and all that. Like that just is it's more money than I want to spend. And like, he could just meet us here. There's a restaurant on property. Could we do that? No, you won't let me see my friend, right? And then you get this argument
Yeah.
between the two that, quite frankly, is the kind of thing that would land them in our office with us, right? So I think you're right, Dan. She's internalized this frame because now he's upset and he is slinging probably accusations her way if we're going to guess at how this all played out.
And so often it's useful to talk to couples about what their frame is of the discussion. Because if his frame is, you won't let me see my friend, and her frame is, I don't want to spend a bunch of money driving all over creation so you can be a show off, they're approaching two very, very different issues. If she doesn't want to see his friend and doesn't want to take time away from she's kind of, that's not kind. That's not, I don't get to see
Mhm.
this friend very often. We should see him, but that's not what she's doing. I don't know if we're ready to say this, but I don't know if you're
I
ready.
think we
I'm
are.
ready.
Yeah, no, I think we are.
As stated in, I'm gonna caveat the shit out of this. As stated in the fact pattern, boyfriend's kind of an asshole, and she's not. I think she's bought into some of his framing, and I think she needs a little help with that. But I'm not happy with him.
I would agree. I'm thinking about it. I'm chewing it
You're like,
over.
you
I
like
think
paused. You like paused.
I
You're like,
did. Like, I just wanted to think about it a little bit again because I'm a little concerned that she may have a bit of contemptuousness that's and an unfavorable view that's
oh,
unfair. But we don't know. So as stated and as updated, I think I have more of a problem with his decision and behaviors than hers. I think she has offered a reasonable win-win for
Yeah.
this relationship, but given that she does have some concerns about how close they are together, although I would love for her not to
But
throw that in as the reason to not to.
yeah, shout out to John and Julie Gottman here, but we're talking
Mhm.
about resentment building up there,
Mhm.
that resentment playing out, and there are unresolved conflicts that really need to be addressed here. And
Mhm.
maybe he's not being an asshole. I don't know. She definitely has some of that like contempt, frustration, anger, resentment built up that is not getting addressed about a number of different issues. This is a couple that like we see couples. I think about a couple like this that they what they might need is just an opportunity to shine a light on some of these things and bring them
Mhm.
out and have an open, honest conversation and come to some like this is a couple that might be able to come to some really good resolution if they're able to really identify what
Yeah.
the problem is and talk about it honestly and openly.
Yeah, and you shouted out John and Julie Gottman. I think they would move into maybe even dream within conflicts. Here's our conflict, but what are the dreams that are really driving this? Because that's the sticking point. Is I have a dream and I feel like it's going to go unrealized here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
What'd the
so
internet say, Michael? Oh, you kind of
Yeah.
heard those already. They jumped all over.
Well, so yeah, initially when she posted, people pounced on her, and I don't know, it's hard to know exactly how much attention to detail they pay. I mean, sometimes people on the internet really drill down, and it's impressive like how they extrapolate things. This one felt like they latched on to her taking ownership of the birthday vacation as her own thing. And so a lot of their complaints were, you're acting like he's hijacking the trip, but he just wants a few hours to see someone he knows.
I don't
It's
think
not
that's the problem.
unreasonable. It's a shared vacation, not a solo birthday gift. Like that was you're the asshole, the
mhm.
kindest one of those.
100%,
Really.
100%, by the way, on that. If that was the
Yeah,
case, if the question was the question, yes, she was out of line for not wanting to give her boyfriend those couple of hours. Absolutely.
And then
But
there was a equally, well, not an equal. I mean, there was probably, that was probably like I don't know, half of the people were you're the asshole. And then there was about a 30% that was not the asshole. And they were equally adamant about the other way. You're not being unreasonable. Your boyfriend's being unreasonable. He's trying to hijack the trip. He promised this for you and blah, blah, blah. Like that was where it kind of fell apart. But then she started providing the update, like what I read to you, these opportunities for compromise and whatever. And then it kind of softened. And then there was a group of people who really went into everybody sucks here. You both kind of are
mm,
shitty and like you need to work some
mm,
shit out. And then ultimately, what I really enjoyed at the end was she came back and she said, I took the advice from everyone that was so harsh initially. I really looked at it and I thought about it and we talked about it. We tried to come up with another compromise, and ultimately what I came to understand is the friend was um, less financially off than they were, and so it was kind of a
mm.
hardship to come in and whatever, and the meal and all that other stuff that they wanted to do. The friend really wanted to treat his friend that he hadn't seen in a long time, and so the compromise was the friend would come get them from Universal, and then the couple would buy dinner for the friend. And that worked out, and everything seems fine now. So,
somebody took our advice.
Had the
Most
conversation.
They had the fucking conversation. We talk about this all the time.
That's
Sit
fantastic.
down, have a conversation, talk about how you're feeling. Like it sounds like they sat down and she said, I'm feeling this way. And she owned some shit. Like she started out by owning some shit because she said, the
Mhm.
internet jumped on me for this. This is what they said. And this is how I'm reading it totally. But Gail,
Mm.
you'll tell me if I'm wrong. It sounds like her willingness to say, this is what I was out of line on, softened him.
Yes, as it so often does,
Yeah. And then
right?
run with this, Gail, because you know what happens
Oh,
next. Yeah, yeah.
well, right. No, I
I'm
mean, I
talking too
think
much.
not at all. I think that the best advice I give people, or one of the best pieces of advice I can give people, is when you're in conflict, really do reflect on where you fucked up, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
start your conversation with, "This is where I think I really messed up." and go
Yeah.
from there. It softens the whole rest of the conversation because you don't come in this defensive position of you did this and da, 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 da. You're saying, hey, I did this thing. This is where I, have realized I was wrong, and I'm sorry for having wronged you. And can we talk about this other thing? And there's usually a lot more willingness to have that second part of the conversation.
It's a big part, and I know you do this too. It's a big part of what I do with couples. If I, especially early on in the conflict, if I get each one of them to own some part that's theirs,
Mm-hmm.
if they know, like there's no way it's all your partner, and no one wants to, like, there's this feeling like if I say I'm out of line, I've done something wrong, somehow I lose and my partner in the conflict wins. And if instead that individual can say, this is where I'm fucking up, this is where I hurt you, both
Mm-hmm.
people win, because then the partner is like in a place where they're almost like there's a subtle pressure. This is to do the same. Yeah, you know what? And when you did this, I was totally out of line. And now they're talking, and now they get to address each other more honestly and openly. And that opening she gave allowed him to soften, which allowed her to
Yeah.
soften, which allowed them to have a more honest, open conversation and come to that win-win that we were talking about 20 minutes ago. Love the way this couple resolved it. No one's an asshole anymore. I
Right? They're
rescind any
absolved.
previous statement of assholeness. Nobody's shitty here. Everyone comes out good because in the end they had a conversation. And I love this.
Right. Because, while we can do things that are unfortunate or problematic, asshole is about being entrenched and inflexible. And the moment
Right.
you create that flexibility, especially in the relationship, oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah. And she
Right?
was
Rock
like,
star.
yeah. She came to him and
Do
said,
we have like a rock star
no, this
category here?
couple's
We don't
couple's
have that.
wonderful. But
We
this
talk
is,
about assholes and not assholes and
I,
everybody sucks, but these guys are rock stars.
no,
I
they
love this
are.
for them.
They totally handled this exactly the way you should. She said, I fucked up. He said, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I should have explained this better. I didn't.
Yeah.
Let's come up with, they come up with a great solution that allows
Right.
everyone to win. The boyfriend gets to see his buddy. She gets to meet the friend. They get to be supportive of this friend. The friend gets to pick them up and feel like they're contributing. Like everybody wins here.
Yes.
Love it.
Wow. Michael, you
Wow.
sound such a unique one.
I
Thank
know.
you. This is cool. What a win for all of us.
I do love the updates. Like that helps
Uh-huh.
give the full picture. So often we're
Yeah.
left hanging and wondering what happened or how it was resolved or whatever. So, but thank you both for another riveting debate and a glimpse into how couples work and how this should work and being vulnerable. Remember, morality is often shades of gray and not just black or white.
And have the conversation. Like, how many times have we said this? Have the conversation. Have the conversation. Well done, guys.
Have the fucking conversation. But again, when you remember, really important, when you're having the conversation, start with where I'm making the mistake. Because we try so often to start with what you're doing wrong. And if you would just apologize, then we can start fixing this. Be vulnerable first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And please follow and share Veritas Views on any of the podcast platforms with your neighbors and friends. And as always, stick around through the credits for the bonus conversation about, I'm not sure what's on their mind today.
You can follow Dr. Dan Kessler at Dr. Dan Kessler and Dr. Gayle MacBride at Dr. G. MacBride. Oh, and you can find them both at veritaspp.com. Credits. Tickling the Ivories, Matthew Reddington. Art, production, and design, bringing this show together with flair and finesse, Michelle Love. Recording and editing, turning chaos into something worth sharing, Michael MacBride. Intro, outro, I'm Kelly Buttrick, a VO talent who just happens to be Dr. MacBride's cousin. Cats, CJ, Linus, Sadie, and Griffin. Hosting by whomever lost the coin flip. Interruptions by all their children. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Listening to this podcast does not constitute a therapist-client relationship. If you believe you may be experiencing a mental health issue, please seek the assistance of a qualified mental health professional. If you are experiencing a mental health crisis, you can call or text 988 from anywhere in the U.S. to be connected to Crisis Mental Health Services.
Thanks for listening. As promised, here's the bonus conversation.
So on our webpage, on our brand new pretty webpage, there is a
Beautiful.
picture on the
Yeah.
front of the webpage, a very
Mhm.
serene picture. And as anyone here who's done any web stuff knows, pictures have copyrights, and you can't just, where did this lovely serene picture start? Where it come from? And I'll let the two of you discuss which one of you would like to answer it.
Well, I think the person who took the photo should answer it. And that was not me.
We went to the UK and it was fabulous. And one of the things that I wanted to see while I was there was Sherwood Forest and just Robin Hood. Like, it's a real thing. Yeah.
And
So
I
that's
was sort
Sherwood
of like,
Forest.
oh my gosh, one more thing on this really long driving day. Okay. I didn't, no. For
Totally
the sake
fair.
of the compromise, for the sake of the discussion around the win-win, I was like, you know what? It's fine. We're going to pop in. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting no matter what. Like, I didn't want to add it to my long day, but I did not want to do it. So I wisely kept my mouth shut. I let my husband have the win. We went, and yeah.
It's on the webpage. So check it out, Sherwood Forest, at our webpage, www.veritaspp.com.
As in Psychology Partners.
Right, not anything else.
Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week for a whole nother Am I the Asshole debate.
We love hearing from you, so please review us on Apple, Spotify, or, well, wherever you're listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please review, like, and follow. Also, give it a share. This helps us reach more listeners.